Think you've played every great JRPG? Think again. There are some absolute gems out there that got buried under the hype of bigger releases. Today, we're digging up 10 overlooked JRPGs that you need to play. Some of these flew way under the radar, but trust me, they're worth your time. Stick around till the end. And if you find a new favorite, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more gaming gold. Let's get into it. Starting off at number 10, we've got Radiata Stories, a JRPG that deserved way more love when it dropped on PS2. This isn't your typical save-the-world adventure. Instead, it throws you into a living, breathing world where NPCs have actual schedules, and every single character can be recruited into your party. The game doesn't take itself too seriously either. Jack, the main character, is more goofball than hero, and the dialogue is packed with humor. Combat is real-time and easy to pick up, and the branching story gives you some real choices. If you want an RPG that doesn't feel like every other one out there, this is it. Nine, Odin Sphere Leifthrasir, a remastered masterpiece that turns 2D action RPG combat into pure art. The original was great, but this version smooths out every rough edge. 5 playable characters, each with their own intertwined story, keep things fresh. The combat? Fast, fluid, and ridiculously satisfying. It's got a deep leveling system, a cooking mechanic that actually matters, and some of the best hand-drawn visuals in gaming. If you skip this one because it looked too different from a traditional JRPG, you're missing out. At number 8, we've got The Last Remnant, a game that dared to be different. Instead of standard turn-based battles, you're commanding entire squads in large-scale fights that feel more like tactical warfare. It's a deep, strategic RPG where positioning and formations actually matter. Sure, the original had some rough edges, but the remastered version smooths out the frame rate issues and makes everything play better. If you're into tactical RPGs that demand a little more strategy, this is one you'll want to check out. Coming in at number 7, we've got Wandering Sword, a game that clearly takes inspiration from Octopath Traveler, but doesn't just copy it. The pixel art is gorgeous, the combat mixes turn-based and real-time elements, and the world is packed with choices that actually change how things play out. If you liked Octopath, but wanted something with more depth and player agency, this is your next obsession. At number 6, we're getting into time loop territory within Stars and Time. But here's the twist. This isn't just about rewinding battles, it rewinds the entire game world. Every loop changes how NPCs react and adds layers to the story. It's part JRPG, part puzzle game, and the writing is sharp, funny, and emotional all at once. If you like RPGs that experiment with storytelling, this one's a must-play. Now for number 5, Okage Shadow King, a game that leans hard into comedy. You play a kid who accidentally becomes the servant of an evil overlord, and things only get weirder from there. The cartoonish art style, bizarre dialogue, and hilarious villains make it unlike any other JRPG. The combat is simple but fun, and the world has a Tim Burton-esque charm. If you want something weird, funny, and totally different, give this one a shot. At number 4, we're going back to the PS1 days with Vandal Hearts, a tactical RPG that deserved more attention. The combat is tight and strategic, with decisions that actually change the story. Every battle feels like a puzzle, and the brutal difficulty makes every victory satisfying. If you're into Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics, this one's a no-brainer. Breaking into the top 3, we have Shadow Hearts Covenant, a game that blends gothic horror, dark humor, and an RPG combat system with actual timing mechanics. It throws historical events, demons, and twisted fantasy into one bizarre, unforgettable mix. The Judgment Ring battle system adds a rhythm game twist to turn-based combat, making every fight feel interactive and strategic. If you want a JRPG that takes risks and pulls it off, this is the one. Next up at number 2, Jeanne d'Arc, Imagine Final Fantasy Tactics meets French history, but with magic and anime-style knights. The PSP might be a forgotten console, but this game still holds up. The tactical combat is deep, the story is engaging, and the way it twists real history into a full-blown fantasy war is genius. If you've got a PSP lying around, this is the reason to charge it up. And finally, at number 1, we have Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals, a SNES classic that too many people missed. It's got everything: engaging turn-based combat, dungeons filled with actual puzzles, and a story that's way better than it had any right to be. Unlike most RPGs of its era, this one lets you interact with the world in ways that feel ahead of its time. If you're a fan of classic JRPGs, this is one you can't afford to skip. And there you have it, 10 JRPGs that deserve way more love. How many of these have you played? Let me know in the comments, and if you found a new favorite, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more hidden gems. See you in the next one.